Okay, in this video I want to cover the transition between the backswing and the downswing, and then the follow through. Alright, so in the previous video we covered what positions you want to try and achieve in your backswing, and now we're going to go right to the transition. Now, the key to the transition is that the downswing should start before the shoulders are done turning in the backswing. So it almost kind of looks like that. That is what allows the longer hitters to really hit the ball farther, because they've created that leverage with their lower body that generates this lag with the club on the way down. Most amateurs have a tendency to start the downswing with the upper body and then they lose that lag. So on the way down in the downswing, when this left arm is parallel to the ground again, the club should either be perpendicular to the ground or it should be leaned towards the target. Most amateurs in this position are the opposite, because they've started the downswing with the upper body. That causes the hands to release too early, and then they lose all power, so that at the downswing they end up in this position with the arms extended. They've lost all their leverage and power. What we want to do is store up that leverage until the last second and then let the club whip through. So we start the downswing just before the shoulders are done turning in the backswing. That is started from the ground up. Left knee goes forward. That leads the left hip. So they both get going towards the target. That allows the arms to drop down right in front of the chest. And then we simply unwind from there. So at impact, I want 90% of my weight on my front foot. I still want my back foot relatively flat, but with a driver it's likely coming, the right heel is probably coming up a little bit. I want the hips slightly open. The shoulders can be either square or slightly open. I like the Hogan model where he had the hips really open, and Sergio Garcia's like this as well, so that at impact they're basically 30 degrees open. Shoulders are slightly open, and then we just rotate over on that left pivot, get good extension through the ball. My furthest amount of extension, my peak amount of extension, should be about 2 feet past impact. By this time my head is rotating with the club. I'm following the shot, rotating the hips more around, and then I get a nice high follow through. And I want to finish in a balanced position where my belt buckle is facing the target, and if I'm standing behind you, my right foot, I should be able to see the bottom of your right foot. You should be balanced over your left foot, and you should be able to pick up that right foot without having to shift your balance. So now you're in a nice balanced position and rotated through that way. Now, if you're hitting a driver and a more flexible player might have the shoulders turned a little bit further off to the left. That's just due to flexibility and such that way. So ideally though, we want those hips open at impact, shoulders maybe slightly open. We're swinging the club on a circle, and we get that nice follow through. If you're lacking some flexibility in your lower body, you can consider starting out with your hips slightly open. Square shoulders, slightly open hips, and that'll allow you to get that position with the lower body that we're looking for at impact. That circular motion is what causes the club to get squared up at impact rather than a manipulation of the hands. Now, Hank also likes to teach that in the follow through, the club should be parallel to the ground and parallel to your target line, just like it was in the backswing. However, if you've rotated the hips more so that they're turned off to the left more, that club is going to be turned off to the left a bit more with the hips. And that allows us to take away the manipulation of the hands. We don't have to worry about the hands releasing the club. So consider those positions for the downswing and the follow through, and work on those in slow motion in a mirror. Just learn how to move the body properly. Combine that with the other fundamentals that we've already taught in the other videos, and you're going to be a much better ball striker, a swinger of the golf club, and a much better golfer. Work on those, and we'll see you in the next video.